Let's see.
Oh yeah, we back up in the motherfucker now. Can we?
So you can hear everything. Let's find out. I'm turning my shit up.
Hello?
Okay. Hello?
What did you say?
Okay, yeah, we on. Turn everything down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man, we had some technical difficulties. We good now. This needs to stop running on the motherfucking shit. That's gonna make me crazy too.
All right, here we go. We up.
Yeah, we good now.
Yeah, a little technical difficulties, man.
Man, but we here with my boy Remy Guapo.
Hello? What did you say? Goddamn, goddamn.
Yeah, so we was saying this is your second time here, right?
Yeah, man, it's a fucking blessing.
We
I
appreciate you.
free all my actives, man.
Free the active,
Anybody
free the
that's here
homeboys.
participating for the movement.
Straight up.
Hello.
Hello. Anyways, man, shit. You know, I heard a rumor, man.
What?
About Trump. He said he was gonna make it to where if you're paying child support, you get to claim the kids.
Oh,
On the
my
taxes?
Yeah. So if a man's
Bro.
paying child support, then the woman doesn't get to claim the kids. The man does.
Right.
So
8 years
that
I've
only
been
makes
fucking
sense,
trouble.
right?
It makes sense, yeah.
Right, because
8 fucking years.
you taking care of your responsibility and shit. You're being forced
Right.
to give something. And not saying forced because I think every man should take care of his kids, but
Right.
I mean if you're doing it, then you should be able to at least claim that on your taxes, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
for
The
real.
greatest news I've heard all
I
fucking
mean-
day.
Right, man. It's crazy to think that it took this long,
right.
right? For common sense, some common sense like that.
Right.
You know me, I'm not a huge Trump dude. I don't really care one way or the other about none of this guy. I feel like they all against us, right? But
Right.
man, little stuff like that, bro, especially right now while everything's crazy and the taxes are 40%. They 40% in most cases.
Yeah, 40%.
Yeah.
Which
Man,
is
some
crazy.
gotta give, homie.
What
Some
about the fucking Weibos though, man? That shit fucking the price of eggs, you know what I'm saying? That shit going up.
Bro, yeah,
Right.
that's even if you can find eggs in the grocery
My
store.
mom loves brown eggs. She get mad. I tell her I can't even come back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
right, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think just how in the last like 20 years, right? In the last before I went to prison and now like just how so much shit has changed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it seems like most of it is just like they just doing a little bit. They seeing how far they could take it. You know what I'm saying? They pushing up on you a little bit. It's like they're punking the fuck out of us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Right. Miguel Longo said Canada's about to be the 51st state. What do you think about that shit?
I heard about that.
Like he wants to make Canada the 51st state.
Blame Canada.
I think that's one of those things that's just like it's throwing us off of some. You know what I'm saying? That Canada is not going to give up their sovereignty to America for nothing. That's crazy talk, right? It's arbitrary
crazy.
nonsense. Yeah.
But think about it. It would be good for Canada and for us.
Why?
Well, because I mean, just that's more GDP. That's more tax money coming into the whole. That's more people taken care of. They got universal health care. They might implement that over
Right.
here. Like there's a whole bunch of different.
And
So
us
that would
phones
be
can
dope.
visit.
Right. So that would be dope. The you know what's crazy to me is is he talked about getting rid of the IRS and making it ERS.
Right.
Right. So the ERS is the external revenue service where they just deal with tariffs and stuff like shit coming in
Import, export
instead of
shit.
taxing you. Like
Everybody coming out.
Yeah. If you fucking with us, man, you should have to pay for it. And they used to be our taxes used to be like 2%.
Right.
Right. Taxes used to be 2%. And even that was an issue when they did it. But man, fuck all that, man. The important thing is people need to just be able to live.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like if countries we hate, right? That supposedly we hate, right? Like but Russia, China, they don't got no homeless over there.
Hell no.
They don't got no homeless over there. They don't got a drug problem over there.
Look at Iceland, like how they got the people that's locked up. They get to go outside,
Right.
go a whole life, come back. By choice, will come back because it's how they got set up.
Right.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Shit, do the same shit for me. I'd fucking rehabilitate myself too. But
Yeah.
this whole shit's gotta get changed.
What do you think? What do you think about him calling the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of
Oh yeah,
America.
no. This is already supposed to be Mexico. First of all,
Right.
first of all,
It's called Gulf of Mexico because of where it's at,
Right.
right? Because it's
Well, it borders.
but all of this
Mexico and
stuff
the
is
United States
America. We're the United States,
of America.
right? So calling it America isn't really a huge like Mexico is Mexico, obviously, but they're the United States of Mexico. This is all North America.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
have you
Like,
seen the map from 1892? I think it is, to be correct. I think something like that. If you look at the map of where Mexico was before that,
oh, the
shit,
7 states of
yeah,
Aslan?
that
Yeah.
shit, boom. We was
Yeah.
rocking.
So yeah, no, they
We
got
was
us. They got
rocking.
us. Right? They got Mexicans for sure. They got us. But I know the whole history of all that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But
Yeah.
getting into
It
it,
gets deep.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy. But yeah, no, they, and it's ours, right? It's Mexicans.
Right.
Shit. You know what I'm saying? With like these are just things that I think is just feeding his base, right?
I mean,
It's just
all
it's
of our cities are named after, Sacramento, Sacrament,
right.
San Jose, Saints. It didn't come from them.
That's
It
right.
came from us.
Right. Well, it came from Spaniards.
Yeah. From
Yeah.
Spain,
names,
which
yeah.
the Spain came and
Well, yeah, that's what made it.
they fucked us up too.
Yeah,
all the way to,
But all this stuff, all this pro America is feeding his base, right?
Right.
It's rallying people up for him to take office, and all this stuff. That the important stuff that's happening is like, for us, it's them, it's the Democrats really moving in their direction, right? In Trump's direction, right? Just to be like, hey, we could do this too. Don't just,
Yeah. Well, you
And-
see, Mark Zuckerberg, he kind of
right.
backtracked.
That's a great point, but that's not government. That's a great
But that
point.
was
but
a
this year they
democratic
both didn't have
ideology.
a side to really choose. It was like either
The-
this or that.
The issues I got, right? I ain't gonna lie. The issues I got with Trump and with just Republicans generally, like, they're all for softening the drug laws and stuff, right?
Right.
Which with the Koch brothers, with the Koch brothers, however you want to say it, right? That's really what started like legalizing marijuana and doing all that stuff, right? And Trump's brother, he died of a drug overdose,
Right.
right? And Trump's never used drugs. You know what I'm saying?
Doesn't even drink alcohol.
Doesn't even drink alcohol. You know what
They
I'm saying?
say.
But he is super hard. He wants to fucking like really do away with drug dealers, right? And right, that's an attack on poor people, right?
Straight the fuck up.
That's really an attack on poor people, and the people who are going to be affected by that mostly are blacks and raza, right? That's
Right.
just the truth of it.
Because living in California, you can't just have two stable incomes and make
Nope.
it. Tell me if y'all do. Hey, power to you, but live out here in California. Tell me you ain't gotta do some or whatever.
You got to have
to make
2
it.
jobs and 3 side hustles
Yes,
Right.
to make
exactly.
it. You know what I
So
mean?
he's basically what it's doing is the reason he's doing that, and they're doing that is to reinforce law enforcement, right?
Right.
Because there's been such anti-law enforcement since BLM came out, you know what I'm saying? And really it's justified, right? Because police have been super oppressive, right? They've gotten away with a lot. They have, and him reinstalling fucking the ability for law enforcement to just do whatever they want and be able to get away scot-free is, if you out there, if you outside, it's crazy.
It's dangerous.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Giving anybody absolute power is dangerous.
Right, because absolute power corrupts absolutely. Right.
Yeah.
So there's certain stuff I'm happy about and certain stuff I'm not happy about.
Right.
And I think anybody listening to this podcast and that's involved in a specific kind of lifestyle on any level should be conscious and should be aware. You know what I'm saying? Things are we're like free to homies now, and prisons are full, and California still has a huge prison population, but it's gonna get worse, I promise you, because what's gonna happen in the same way that they're following suit with the taxes. The Democrats are following suit with the taxes, and they're following suit with all these little things that they could get away with that without offending their base. They're going to follow suit with supporting law enforcement again. Right. And so that's going to,
because they're going to start rebuilding other prisons like they was. They just
That's
shot
right.
that shit down.
The private prison
that's
pipeline.
Yep.
right. It's gonna
Exactly.
he's just,
And they try to shut that shit down, and like that shit's crazy.
right. And that's how I got out. I got out because of those reform policies, and they weren't enough.
Thank y'all.
Right. They weren't enough. And now we're gonna throw that bitch in reverse. And I got a lot of homies that is fighting cases right now that is back in the appeal courts thanks to the laws that happened because of people like the brother Ben Amador. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out Ben.
Yeah, and it's kind of freaking me out, like thinking what's gonna happen, what's in the pipeline.
Right.
Because I know they've been having shit set up. And that Prop 36 was an okie doke for y'all. Everybody that voted for the prop, who saw the news reports on people getting, people stealing all the stuff, and it was an okie doke. They okie doked y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because ultimately what's going to happen, they've been locking fools up for them for stealing from the stores.
Right.
That's what people don't know.
Right.
It's when I went to court, it was like 40 people in that row. If I had a gun charge, I didn't have nothing to do with me. Right.
Theft.
Yeah, that was the theft.
Yeah, theft is what carried more points to their shit.
Yeah.
It's just like another form of gang enhancement.
Oh my, yeah.
And that's why I tell you, it's like you don't do one or the other, bro. You're trying to put all those things together. You're getting washed.
Yeah. GZM7 said, plus Trump wants to get rid of the drug dealers because he realizes white people are their main customers. They knocks with disposable money.
And there might be some truth to that. Right? It used to kind of be the opposite. When it was relegated to specific neighborhoods, you know what I'm saying? There wasn't necessarily as much of a problem. You know what I'm saying? Crack didn't become a problem until white people started using it.
Right.
Right? And
nothing became a problem until it affected like the upper class, right? So
right.
you can say white people, but once it started affecting upper middle class, they didn't give a fuck about middle class, lower middle class, or poor.
Right.
Class don't even have a color, but predominantly other white people, right?
Right.
That's true.
Right. European.
That's true.
Yeah. Because what is white, right? Like, what is that, a race?
Oh, yeah. I mean.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just like they okie doked us with the 3 strikes law.
Right.
So 3 strikes law was supposed to be for mainly kidnappers and pedophiles.
Right.
Right. But
and now they get the soft hand.
Right.
Yeah.
They've always got the soft hand, but why?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Now we starting to figure it out a little bit. It's because of people in power.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look at everything with Diddy. You know,
but it's not just with him. We keep referring to Diddy, but you know who was doing it beforehand, who dealt with the Europeans, was the old boy with the island, the Epstein.
Right. Hey, Epstein, fucking island, bro. That piece of shit.
Right.
Yeah, but it goes deeper than
he gets
him
touched
too.
though. Right. He gets touched and pushed to the side.
He was just a scapegoat. Now, why? Like, why is Ghislaine Maxwell? Why is she the only one locked up in a sex trafficking ring? Right.
They dropped they put it all on her.
So like, she was supplying it. But what about where's all the customers at?
Right.
You know what I mean?
They'll hush that with that hush money.
Yeah. So Trump is cool in some aspects, not cool in some. Just like the other side is cool in some aspects, not cool in some aspects. You know what I'm saying? A lot of it makes sense. A lot of it don't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, but everything in politics is good. There's good in it. There's bad. You're right.
Yeah, that's everything.
There's good and there's bad.
That's everything.
It's
the
just
dualities of life, brother. Yeah.
I mean, you got people that are far left and far right, and when you get to the extreme left or the extreme right, that's when shit starts getting fucked up.
Yeah.
I mean, look at how the fires in L.A. Like, it was ran by Democrats, the extreme left, and they weren't prepared for shit. You know what I mean?
Nah, hell no.
Yeah, they weren't prepared for shit.
Yeah.
Shouts out to my boy Thuggy though, man.
Yeah.
Y'all know, man. That's my boy from the town, man.
Thuggy 510 was good with
it. Yeah, shouts out to all them, man.
Joe Bob said he was a horrible drug dealer.
I could tell from the way you smell.
Shout out to Joe
Free
Bob.
tar. He said free tar. Yeah, free my brother Avatar. Yeah.
What life for coming up on chanclas from Walmart? Surviving Little Toro.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really what life is now. Now we just worried about how they gonna lock us up. You know what I'm saying? That's fucking crazy to me.
Right. So you go from one extreme where it was mandatory sentencing for
Right.
drug dealers,
Yep.
drug offenders, not even drug dealers, drug
Yep.
users, right? And then now it's like, then it went to like, okay, let all the non-violent drug offenders out, right?
Mhm.
Now it's going back to
Yep.
You
okay,
see
zero
Seattle?
policy.
You see weird city over there, Oregon, all those cities that decriminalize drug abuse and all that. You actually
Right.
been out there and see how it moves. It's crazy. It's old as
Yeah, my sister live out in
Hold it,
Oregon.
I haven't been out there, but I heard about it.
Yeah, we heard about it too. My old coworker used to live out in Oregon. She said she could go to the liquor store. They just be sitting right on the side of a little woo wop.
It's like remember
Yeah,
Bling
shit.
Bling
Saludos vacas made.
bum fights. He'd be like, "Here's my crack pipe out my collar," type shit.
What's up, Skinner Vision?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like you got to find that middle ground. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, really, what's gonna happen is they gonna knock all that shit down, right? They gonna sew all that shit up, and then motherfuckers just can find other shit. You know, that's really what it is. People who need to escape are gonna find a way to escape.
Right.
You know.
And with any law, there's always going to be someone that's going to take advantage of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, because they're talking about banning cigarettes, like period,
Mhm.
right, across the country. So
Yeah.
what does that do? That makes a black market for cigarettes.
So what's
Right.
doing it? I'll tell you why. Tariffs. We'll go back to what you're saying is. So what's going to happen is no longer these companies that produce hemp. That's why marijuana got abolished because during the early wars they were producing hemp to make the money for the textiles and shit, right?
Yeah.
So with
Yeah.
tobacco is all these like Kentucky, all these states that are making this money out. So what they're gonna do? Talk to Dominicans and all them and get money and tax the fuck out them and
Right.
hit them like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you
Real
see the
shit.
bigger picture, right? Because we talk about people with money and higher power. If I was them, that's the type of shit I'd be on too. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
gotta see
Yeah,
the bigger picture,
definitely.
people. You gotta pay attention, man.
Yeah, it gets deep.
Yeah. Joe Bob says shout out to Young Ace Bug and for dropping his new album, Middle Ground.
Middle
guys-
ground's out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Check that shit out, man. Middle Ground is dope.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah, that's a man. Ace Bug, man, that's a dope artist right there.
And
Shout
good
out
dude.
Joe Bob too. Where the fuck
Yeah.
you at?
Joe
Yeah.
Bob, man, he's handling some business. His boy's a good friend of his. He's doing something, and Joe
Yeah.
Bob's participating.
Shout out to
It's
Joe
love.
Bob
Yeah.
and fucking
Where you catch
Jay King out right now. You know what I mean? He's handling some business and shit.
Yeah, it's a
so,
family business.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
everybody's doing
Family
doing
first.
family business,
Yeah.
handling what they got to handle. But we here, man. We trying to just keep y'all entertained and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, who wants to
But-
hear some unreleased shit though?
Nah, we ain't
No.
doing that right now.
All right.
But
We
no,
ain't-
hey, Lazy Boy just had his video coming out that just dropped, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Gangland.
Gangland, that was dope.
That was
And
dope.
then if you guys haven't watched, what's it, TC Hood Vlogs? He just did a hood vlog.
Oh yeah.
we were there that day. The same day he did the video shoot.
I see you in there.
Yeah, learned a lot. I actually
Yeah.
learned a lot watching that stuff.
Yeah,
Just how they processed it and fucking how
Right.
yeah.
yeah. How they do the hood vlogs.
Yeah. What do you think about hood vlogs?
They're good and bad, right? Because like you can give a little bit too much information. So I remember one time in my hood, the news came out,
Yeah.
and they had a homie from the hood, and he was like going through shit, and he was pointing out like, hey, this is where we keep the guns. This is where we this
Oh,
is where
yeah.
we stash the drugs when the cops
Tripping.
come.
Whoa.
Like, bro, fuck you doing?
And did they put it out?
Yeah, they put it out.
Oh,
it
yeah,
was,
hell
it was
no.
on the news. You know what I mean?
It was like hood to hood. Remember that shit back in the
Yeah.
day?
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Oh yeah, my
No.
boy was anyway. Well, when we was out 2005, I think 2007. There was a hood to hood, and the homie, I don't know who he's, but anyways, he would go to all these hoods and do the vlogs. I'm like, bro, y'all exposing yourself to the fullest right now.
Right, so me and Lazy talked about this a lot. Me and a couple homies talked about this a lot. Like hood vlogs, people want to know about a motherfucker, right? They want to get brought into your world, right? So I understand why people are doing hood vlogs, right? But how the law works is they can't necessarily use
Your word.
your lyrics against you, right?
Right.
And unless you're doing something very specific to the crime, you talk about something very specific to the crime. Hood vlogs posts on on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, are open game though for law enforcement, for prosecutors,
I
Right.
agree.
right? So what you say in those fucking hood vlogs not only incriminates you, but incriminates other people, right? Because somebody who gets caught with something in a certain area, specific area of the city, when they get caught, a good way for them to associate you with a specific criminal organization is by being like, you ain't seen this hood vlog, and that's great. And when you're
Right.
in trial, that's
Oh, yeah.
prosecutors
Well,
gonna
you never
love
know what
playing up one of
individual.
those. Oh, look, even your favorite rapper, man, he even said it was over here, and it's y'all. This is your little spot right here, and fuck,
Right.
and this is where you got caught with whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Latin Underground brought up a good point. Barrio to Barrio. That was
Yeah, back in the
Perico.
day.
So,
that
but
shit
he
too.
wasn't exposing where motherfuckers, hid shit.
Yeah.
He was actually just giving shout outs to mostly rappers. He was
Yeah.
going around showing what rappers do,
Yeah.
which is cool. But then when you start exposing shit in the hood,
Right. It's
like,
Lazy Boy was great.
right.
Right. Lazy Boys was great.
Hey, I was gonna say that the way he answered that,
Yeah,
I
no,
said,
that's how you do
"Hey,
it.
feed me." You know what I'm saying? That was it.
Yep.
Exactly. And birthmark.
Right.
Right.
Everything was just super well thought out and smart, and it was entertaining. And man, go check that out if you haven't checked it out already. And I had a talk with D Cisneros too,
Okay, yeah.
and he had posted something, and so I hit him up. I talked to him, and he made a good point. He's like, he made a point that was like he was wondering why people did that. And you never really trip on nothing until you have to trip on something. And it's those small little things.
Right.
You
Right,
said
it's
it fucking best right now. What? Say it again one more time.
You never really have to trip on something until you have to trip on something.
Exactly.
Right? And it's those small little things in your life where you're going to be like, damn, I wish I wouldn't have.
Right.
Damn. And so if you are just anticipating, you know what I'm saying? Like nobody's doing criminal stuff, right?
Right.
Like, and that's not what I'm insinuating. I'm not, right? I'm saying this is a legitimate business. Unfortunately, there are certain powers that don't want to see specific people able to exploit their lives, right? And for the benefit of their themselves and their communities, right? Because it undermines their overall message,
Right.
right?
Yes, sir.
Right. So if you know that, and they're gonna try to stop you at some point, you really have to be conscious of, if you anticipate them trying to stop you, how are they gonna do it? If you know what the tools they're gonna use, and you deprive them of access to those tools on some level, or at least you do what you can, you know what I'm saying, to deprive them of that, then I feel like that's what you should be doing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. And that's the problem that's happening with bands in Stockton, right? Is he got locked
Oh,
up.
right, yeah.
He got caught for a hot one, but he was talking about things
Everything
he was
he was
doing, whether
doing.
allegedly what he was doing, whether he did it or not,
Allegedly.
right?
Yeah.
I don't know if he did it or not. I'm not
Right.
saying he did, but
No.
I'm saying like he was talking about stuff. And just because they say they can't use your rap lyrics in court, they still use what you say to tie in certain
Right. So
shit.
right, that's right. So even if they can't use, that's exactly that's a great point. So like they can't use the actual lyrics, but if you're piecing it together for them,
Right.
right? Then they take what you say here and they go check it. Take what you
Right.
say here, go check it. Now they have these pieces of evidence.
Right, and they can tie you where you were at the time of certain incident happening or whatnot. So, I mean, you're just giving them ammunition,
Right,
fuel for
and-
fire. And even if you didn't do nothing, because
Yeah.
there's so many people that growing up, you hear about motherfuckers claiming they're doing something, and they didn't do
We
it.
got a homie that's locked up right now
Right,
for claiming
claiming
something.
That he didn't do, but
Yeah.
just because he wanna look good for his girl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, bro, come on.
And it caught up with him. Now
Right.
what? Now, yeah. So, and also, Bands is dope, and he was like, I didn't listen to him until I seen that song with Asito.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then I was like, okay,
He's
yeah.
dope though.
yeah, he's dope. Yeah. Yeah, and it sucks, fool. You don't want to see nobody, especially no raza. I don't care if they're Kiwi or fucking Sangres or
Crips or-
whatever.
yeah.
I don't care about none of that. I don't want to see no Rasa doing their motherfucking thing, getting locked up. That's fucking fucked up, man.
Right.
Period.
You know what I mean? But I mean that's just the way it is. Like you gotta understand what you're doing. You gotta know. You gotta think ahead, right?
Yeah.
You gotta understand that everything you say and do can and will be used against you in the court of law.
100%.
You know what I mean? And so it's hard being mindful of that at times, especially when you're doing stuff, especially like you're in the mood,
Yeah.
you're drinking and shit. You know what I mean? You say some shit you shouldn't say,
Yeah.
and probably doesn't even have nothing to do with you, but now you just incriminated somebody or even yourself.
Yeah,
So
Sneaker Vision said, yeah, it's called circumstantial evidence. And bro, they use the fuck out of that circumstantial evidence, homie.
right,
They do, bro.
yeah,
They do, for real. I remember
That's
I
when you
remember
get a
go,
DA, go to the judge. Is this circumstantial?
I, oh my mama, hey, when we was in trial, I remember thinking, oh, they can't, that's circumstantial. Who the fuck y'all
Hey,
think?
it's all about
Yeah.
linguistics, about word. If you understand the law is not hard to understand, but it is because of how they word it.
Right.
So how you word things
Right.
will go a long way.
Teach your
against
kids-
with the law.
Teach your kids real young. Don't worry about Webster's dictionary. Use Black's dictionary.
The
Black's Law
thesaurus.
Dictionary is what you should be reading just as a human being, because that's the real language of every element of society.
right.
Yep.
Yeah, man, and it's fucked up right now, especially with the way that the shit is going, especially for people in Northern California, right?
Yeah.
The light shining in Northern California, so you
Yeah.
got to be careful and shit at what you do. Now,
Yeah.
a lot of homies portray, their life that they used to do or they used to be. You know what I mean? But I
Right.
mean, it's at the end of the day, everything that people do is entertainment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And,
Right.
Well, word is
gotta be-
also energy though too. So
Yeah, you got to be mindful of the entertainment aspect of everything that's involved in your music and shit.
Yeah.
So when because it's entertainment, keep it entertainment. You know what I
Right.
mean?
yes, sir.
Keep that shit
Right.
entertainment, because the more you try to mix, street life with your music shit, the more it's gonna catch up to you.
Right.
You know what I
Especially
mean?
if you're
This is why I'm rapping,
Yeah.
especially if you're finding some success, and it's a hard line to walk when you coming out of the streets, right? It's a hard line to walk. It's like oh, you mean, don't talk about it if you ain't really living that life, bro. Don't talk about it if you ain't like,
Period.
right? Yeah, don't 100%, because and that's how you get caught back up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Oh, you said what?
it's the
Who?
right. It's the juxtaposition between like you putting everything that you're working for, all this money that you spent on it, on the line.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For what?
You got so far away to get that much closer to nothing.
Right. You should
Right.
be
You get much to nothing.
exploiting all the hardships in your life
Right.
to benefit yourself and your people. You know what I'm saying? And
And that's the music motherfuckers want to hear anyway. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can only get so much of that murder, death, kill music. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
and it's
you know,
playing itself out right now.
right? How many bodies can you catch on one song?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's caught another body.
Hey,
Jesus Christ.
why the hell does people have to know what kind of body you touched? First of all, male, female, dead or alive? Like, what the fuck? Who gonna know all that, right?
Yeah, no. But that's the shit that's going on right now. You know what I mean? So be careful, everybody. Be careful. Watch out. Watch what you say. Watch what you do, man. Because nobody wants to see nobody get locked up. And you know what I mean? If you getting in the music game,
Yeah.
it's a business. You got to know the business aspect, but also understand that this is real life.
Right.
Real people behind these behind the mics. You know what I
Right.
mean? And what you say and what you do can be used against you, man. Message.
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 I watched that 2 nights ago with Two Tones ass. We was over there chilling. I couldn't go to sleep. I'm like, fuck it. Let me get some free vids on the goddamn YouTube. So don't be a menace. It was all message.
Don't Be a Menace was probably one of the fucking best
Yeah.
hood movies,
But the
hood comedy movies.
People don't realize like what that movie like represented. They didn't know about having satire and shit like that.
Right.
The concept, just as a kid, you see the hood movie, it's a hood movie, right?
Yeah.
But if
Right.
you actually have the knowledge that it was a satire hood movie,
Right.
then it's a real kick, right?
Right,
Right.
of course.
Right.
And that's how I looked at Blood and Blood Out. I looked at it as satire because I mean the way they talked, it was comedy. All the one-liners they had and shit,
Yeah.
that shit
What
had me
pussy?
laughing more than anything. You know what I mean?
Did it? I
Yeah.
was into it. I ain't gonna lie.
I couldn't
When I
take
first seen it, bro. I
Big
was
Al
into
though. Big Al.
it. It was funny. Like it was
Sally
like,
no
but
tortilla.
I felt disrespected for Miklo. You know what I'm saying? I was
Oh,
like,
let's not talk about
this motherfucker, man.
Give me some chon chon.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I was like, man, this dude, man.
But that shit was hilarious. Like
It was funny, but it was like I felt played for him.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, I get you.
Yeah.
I get that. But I'm just like when I seen it, dude, I couldn't stop laughing at that shit. And then you see Popeye in his underwear, like, tell him to suck his pee-pee. Like, what the fuck? That shit is comedy, fool.
yeah,
Like
nah.
that shit right there should have been
It
on
was like
Comedy
Cheech and
Central.
Chong and like, you know, the board and
Dude,
fucking,
Chicano U-turn. Like, what the fuck? Like, who said that shit?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, that shit was
That's why
funny.
God makes movies like Born in North Day Sakura, Born in East LA. Why can't we have like a Born in North Day Sakura type shit?
Right. And you know what? That's what I was just gonna say is like, why don't we have like what happened to that type shit?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? What happened to that type shit?
What those movies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why can't we have some
They-
for our
They
audience,
so
bro?
like the Scary Movie 3 and like they started getting like kind of corny, right?
Right.
Like you were like, well, is that what it is? Is that why they stopped doing it?
No, I think it's because people started getting offended. Right?
Oh.
It's
Yeah,
cancel
yeah.
culture, right? Because motherfuckers like Joe Bob said some shit on here, and motherfuckers wanted to get
Oh my God.
offended. You know what I
just
mean?
think
Like,
they just want to see it shine.
like
About the
motherfuckers
fires,
yeah,
about the
fires.
fucking-
Yeah, like you can't take a joke, motherfuckers.
Like the
Stop
lesbian
being
lady?
stop being a Karen, motherfucker.
Right.
You
What
know
about
I
the
mean?
fires? Let's talk about that. I actually been holding my breath on that one. What do y'all think about the fire situation?
We
Like-
talked about it last time.
Yeah,
Okay.
like the conspiracy of it.
Yeah. What do you stand on
What
it
do you
now?
think about it?
Yeah.
Right now, a week later, 2 weeks later, right? Whatever. How do you feel now?
Oh man, that motherfucker Newsom did that shit.
Yeah.
Because what, bro? What did he talk about right after? Oh, we're gonna.
So you guys know
You
about
guys
the building
can't
like
go back into the spot.
Right.
We're
A
gonna
smart
rebuild
city.
L.A.
Right.
in the 20. What is it? The plan, the L.A. plan.
Yeah, 2028 or
yeah.
some shit like that. So they want to build a smart city, which is the same thing they wanted to do in Hawaii when the Hawaiian fucking
Right.
islands burned, right? So,
Right.
but what's the best way to build a city,
top
a
of
smart
it.
city?
So,
You got to build it from the ground
Going
up.
back
Yeah.
to the smart city thing, if you know they was doing that down there closer to the border in San Diego, if you know about the big thing they was doing there, and then I don't know about if you know about the Amtrak and like them
Right.
trying to do the bullet train
The
shit.
bullet
Look,
train.
Oh yeah.
where does it run along? If you
Right.
don't
That's what I
pay
said last
attention
time,
to
yeah.
these things,
So-
Right.
Bruh, there's not really too much like conspiracy. That's what I was saying. There's not too much conspiracy about it. Like they kind of doing it right in our face, and it's kinda
Truth.
like,
Right.
yeah,
And
like
did
what you gonna do?
Did you see the interview with Newsom? He was dancing like, yeah, we're about to get a
Yeah,
city.
he's
We're
tripping.
about
Get
to be
taxpayer
build
money
it. And
to pay for it.
it's pretty exciting because we're about
Yeah.
to build from like, bro, motherfucker, this is a
Yeah,
this is
even
a
I-
fire, and you're excited. You're smiling from ear to ear.
You can't-
and
yeah.
you got fucking homes to the
I remember
crisp
the
behind
Paradise fires and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know about that? King's fires, all that shit. If you notice, like, how they do that, bro, that shit is all to do. There's a bigger plan. There's a bigger
Right.
shit going on.
like look, whether it's planned by them or purely incompetence, like where they didn't plan for it.
It still runs
Either way,
real.
like, get them
TV.
motherfuckers
There's
the
too
fuck
many
outta there.
people got caught up for arson,
Right.
right? For it not to be planned. But it's gonna
Right.
come out. Some of them dudes gonna die, right? Like the arsonist. I'm predicting it right now. Bro, I ain't lying. Some
Yeah.
of them arsonists gonna die. They gonna
Mysteriously.
overdose. They gonna kill themselves.
Hang themselves in jail.
Yep.
Yeah. That shit happens. Joe Bob said the fires is another example of why you can't have women in leadership positions.
All right.
Hey, shouts out to my boy Forever Monty, man. Hey, man, he out there did some dope shit with Exile, man. That's my nephew, man. If y'all don't know him,
Yeah.
check him the fuck out.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Love you, nephew. Keep doing your thing.
Jeezy says, when it comes to the LA fires, I think Mother Nature has been slapping that old school GUN album too much.
They said your mother.
Back later, later.
Set trip or not.
Yeah, man.
No, but I mean, going back to it, like it's fucked up how people,
it's fucked
it is fucked up. You know what I mean? So motherfuckers make jokes about shit. Don't
Yeah.
get your panties in a bunch. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Yeah. it's
Prayers
fucked up,
to
yeah.
the motherfuckers that lost shit in LA and the motherfuckers that lost their lives.
Yeah, you know
what I
my
mean?
apartment caught on fire too.
Yeah,
Remember
I
that's
know.
all-
I helped you
Damn.
clean it out.
Yeah. So I know what that shit's like.
You know what's crazy is
It's not like it's like you lose shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, shit that
Shit
you
you never
can't
gonna
get
get
back.
back.
But that's the
Yeah.
thing is, if you could be a priceless person, right? It's like you could lose everything and still have everything, right? But it's like, so going back to your apartment fire thing, I literally had a fucking dream. Like I had a serpent going through. My grandma's son helped me. I woke up with my mom. I don't know what's going on, but call grandma. Her whole apartment was on fire.
Yeah, man, it's deep.
Type shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me and my girl be talking about that too, cause she's real like
Spiritual.
no, she ain't spiritual. She like me. She kind of like maybe there's a God, maybe there's not, but there she definitely is like she sees shit, right? Like she
Look.
be like she'll wake up and be like, oh man, I'm tripping on this, and then that shit'll be real. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they say nothing comes to mind without it being directed back. It's like an energy type thing, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
Like I said, everything happens for some reason.
Well, a lot of people say that's because, we're living in a simulation. So
Let's get to that
the
shit,
reason why
right?
you see shit or is a glitch
Glitch in
in
the
the
yeah, man.
matrix.
matrix. Yeah. It's crazy, right? Because you got people. I was just watching this documentary the other day
Yeah,
about a lady who she had an accident when she was 3 years old,
Yeah.
right? She her parents thought she died. This was back in the 1800s, late 1800s. And when the doctors came back in, the doctor pronounced her dead.
yeah,
Doctor came back in and she was playing with her toy. She was up, and the parents were like, why'd you lie and say she died?" He was like, "I don't know. She was dead. I pronounced her dead." Like he was getting ready to call the coroner and clean the body up and take the body away, but then
yeah.
she ended up um, claiming that she lived in ancient Egypt, and she went to an Egyptian display at a museum. Right? They had a like how they have little displays or whatever for Egypt, and she
Yeah.
said, "Oh, this is where I'm from. This is where this is me." Long story short, she ended up growing up, becoming curator for one of the museums, ended up going to Egypt, and ended up helping people locate different shit in
Oh
different
yeah, that's
temples,
crazy.
telling them where the garden was that they didn't know. They were like, "Yeah, we already searched there. It's not there." She goes, "No, the garden was right there, and this is what the hieroglyphs mean, and this is who it was." So, like, yeah, there's a glitch in the matrix. You know what I mean? That they're
Yeah,
saying that shit like that happens, and you hear about reincarnation and shit like that. Like,
yeah,
even our culture believes in reincarnation
yep,
and shit, right?
yep,
And but people say that's just the matrix, right? And it's glitches in the matrix. Who knows? I don't
yeah,
know,
yeah.
but it's very interesting.
It is interesting, and I seen a fucking thing on it on the simulation, right? And I don't know if I necessarily believe it, right? Uh, they also seen a thing on dimensions,
Right.
right? And it's essentially like all these like multi universes, right? All these worlds are happening at the same time, and they say when people see the future or they something like that, they get a premonition
Right.
that it's because it's happening right then in the moment and in another
In another
universe,
dimension, yeah.
right? So I see all that. But what I do know is I used to be able to predict when I was gonna fucking move in the fucking in prison when I was up for transfer, right?
Right.
Like I would see, well, okay, when I go to fucking committee, they gonna put me up for transfer. You know what I'm
And it would
saying?
happen.
And it would fucking happen. And so it was crazy. Also when I was a kid, there was I had a thing in I had a dream that I was I jumped on a fence and was riding the fence, right? And then right, you ever seen anybody ride a fence?
Yeah.
How?
Where you're riding, where you're straddling the fence, when
Nope,
you're hopping.
nope. Where you sliding on a fence like
Oh
surfing,
yeah, I've never seen that.
right?
Okay.
So let me tell you. So at the elementary school by my house, this dude was driving a truck
Right.
and he had a fence on the back and he was raking the motherfucking baseball field,
Oh, okay.
right?
I see what you.
And
Yeah,
me and my boy ran and jumped on the motherfucking fence. And while I was on the fence, I was like, I had a dream this shit happened.
bro, that shit happened to
You
me.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I was like, damn, and it just always stuck with me. And I was like, damn, that shit's crazy as fuck.
I had a dream when I was like, oh, I must have been like 4 or 5 years old, and I'll never forget it. Right.
Yeah,
And I was at the apartments where I was growing up. Right. And I
yeah,
told my mom about this, told my sisters and shit, and then so I was walking through like this little alley in my apartments, and I seen all these fucking things, which now I call them drones. and I looked through, and one came through and just blew up on me, and I woke up. Right.
Uh-huh.
I seen that when I was 3 years old. I didn't know shit about drones.
Right.
The same shit that I seen in my dream. If you watch, what was it? Olympus Has Fallen. But London Has Fallen. If you see that movie where the drones come into the fucking and try to kill the president, that's exactly what I seen in my dream, and I was like, holy shit. So I seen drones before, but that's
that's
some
crazy.
weird ass shit, right?
So what's weirder is that you were 3 and you remember what the fuck you dreamt.
I remember when I was a baby.
Yeah, my girls say that too, but I like my earliest memory is like 9.
I remember sitting in a high chair and having a
For
little
real?
bib on. Yeah, I remember
that's
all that
crazy.
shit.
You ever had sleep paralysis?
Yeah, I've had sleep paralysis.
Or maybe thought you had it? That shit.
Nah, I never had no sleep paralysis.
Hey, I'm gonna lie. So like, I got hit by a car and shit, and my mom said it must have been the drugs because I was young, but I was like, no, hell no. But I seen a Tupac poster. I had a poster. That shit fell over, and I seen an angel come out of it. But like an angel, like with the wings and shit, like in my eyes, whatever I would see, right?
Right.
I'm looking at it, and my brother you just seen, I'm like trying to scream to him because he was in my room to help me. I couldn't, and I'm like trying to. I was damn near about to piss myself. Like, they let me make sure like I'm alive right now, like seeing this shit.
Yeah.
And then after it left, the whole poster fell down.
Bro, let me tell you something. That's a dope story. You know I've been on my Tupac hype.
Right.
Right? So I'm not a fan of Tupac. I never really been a fan of Tupac. Right? You can't go to prison for rape. You can't switch your fucking shit up all the time and me still consider you a motherfucking gangster. Right? That's just out. Yeah, he popped some police stuff.
Right.
Supposedly he popped some Tupac.
Well,
hold on, let me tell you something. I seen this thing from Candace Owens about him being gay. And I've been seeing that fucking that video when he was 17, and I always knew, okay, this motherfucker was something's at 17. What was you doing, bro? I was headed to prison at 17.
Right.
Thug the fuck out, right?
In my box Chevy.
Right. So for him to be acting like that at 17, right? It was just like, no, like, oh no, they fucked me up with that, right? And then, bro, did you watch what I sent you?
You sent me hella shit.
About him being a CIA plant?
Oh yeah, I did watch that.
No, I already thought about that.
That was like
research on his ass. I'm like,
that was
his mom. Hold on, his mom went to trial. Was in trial for 16 months, right? Was in trial, and you know what? You know what the paperwork in her trial was? Mal's Little Red Book, and a movie about Algiers.
Right. They showed the movie during the trial. That's right. That's something I read.
If anybody's had, like, my trial lasted a long ass fucking time, right?
But they ain't gonna make you watch a whole movie.
We ain't watching no fucking movie. What the fuck? You ain't watching a whole movie in trial?
Hell
You
no.
crazy?
Hell
right? Right. It's arbitrary. Maybe a certain section of the fucking movie, right? To whatever, if it has something to do with
if it pertains to the case, but not the whole fucking movie.
Why the fuck is that in her paperwork?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why is his birth certificate a California birth certificate if he was born in New York?
Right. Well, they said a lot of interesting things on that, and
bro, I went down a hole.
The dude went into a whole rabbit hole about like Tupac and the whole conspiracy about him being a CIA plant, and I was like, "What the fuck?" But
you know why it makes sense to me is because I read everything on COINTELPRO in prison, the counterintelligence program that took down Black Panther Party, the Brown Berets,
right,
all the revolutionary groups of the 60s, right, and 70s, right. So what they did was, and the number 47, right?
Yeah.
Was in everything.
And in his Social Security, they blacked out all the numbers except for 47.
Bro, it's,
yeah.
No, 1947 is the year that CIA was formed.
You ever seen the High 47 though?
Yeah.
I was saying if it was in everything.
Probably a CIA.
Right.
So
CIA catch-up.
Right. That's that. And it was so odd that they blacked out the first three numbers, the last three numbers, but they didn't black out the 47.
Right.
And so when I started watching that, I was like,
you know who his videographer was?
Who?
He was a stunt coordinator. You know what his specialty was?
No.
Stationing cars for movies after they were shot up. That was his videographer for the video in Las Vegas.
Okay.
Coincidences, right?
So do you think Tupac is still alive?
Yeah. Yep.
In Cuba?
I do now.
Yeah.
That's where my brain's at now. It might change in a week when I finish going down this
Hey,
hole.
I met
Yeah.
the lady. I met the lady. I guess because I worked at Fixings, right? I was working for Kevin Johnson. Shout out to Kevin Johnson, giving me the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
was out
And he
there.
from the Heights. He's from the
I
North
was out
too.
there doing my thing, and you know, as a bartender, I was a cook too, but I was working there as a bartender the day I met this lady, and she comes. We're just talking, and somehow Pockets brought up, and she goes, "You know, I used to be a groupie of somebody on my crew." She's like, Don King, right?
Yeah.
And I guess she was there supposedly, but then I ended up seeing her like in hell other shit
Yeah.
after. But she was saying she like after he got punched or whatever, she gonna help put his chain on, and then she was there when they got the call like, hey, he's done.
Oh.
But she's like, it was only minutes. She's like, it was minutes when that shit happened. There
Yeah.
wasn't like too much in between from here seeing there from at the casino
Right.
to the 747 or was
Yeah.
But
what
he
was
but he but he died like fucking 9 days after he got shot. Right. Like it took him 9 days to die.
So let me just get back to this.
Yeah.
So if Tupac is a CIA plant and is still alive,
Right.
right? Then what is Keefe doing in jail?
Right. What is he doing in jail then?
or
Is
is he
he-
in jail? Is he being treated good?
Is he a
Is they
scapegoat?
Is he a scapegoat? It's not like they wouldn't do that.
Right.
Or
They've
take him
done
to
it
a nice
before.
fed spot and he's gonna treat
Yeah.
it real nice and do his
Like,
thing.
look at the dude who shot JFK supposedly.
Right. So I did an interview when we had the magazine with
Yeah.
what's his name? From the Outlaws, Napoleon.
Napoleon,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
So we went to his barbershop. He had a barbershop called Platinum Cuts over in Paramount.
Okay.
And so I did an interview. One question I asked him, I was like, "Look, I know you get this all the time, so I'm gonna ask you, like, is Tupac alive in your in your opinion? Is Tupac alive?" He was
Yeah.
like, "Look, man," he goes, "I get that shit a lot, and you're right." He goes, "But man, I did not see the body. They wouldn't
Nobody
let
did.
us." He was like,
I heard that too.
but I seen the pain in his mom's eyes. I seen the pain in his brother's eyes, his sister. He was like, there's no faking that, man. So to me,
What
man,
about
let
if-
Well,
him
they're all
rest.
gone now,
So I
supposedly.
thought about that too. Right? So what about if they knew they were never going to see him again?
Yeah,
Because part of the agreement that, because if the trial was fake and she knew she was going to be fake Tupac's mom,
right.
right? And that at some point he was going to go away because how they were setting it up, right? Because if you look even at I went down a hole, bro.
Right.
That's
If you-
okay. Hell
if
yeah,
you look
hell
at if you look at how they set up the albums, right? It had to be pre-planned, right? And he knew he had a finite amount of time to
Right.
record all this music,
Right.
right? So he was just always in this. So they knew he was going to go, right? And so it's time for him to go, right? It's time for him to die. This is where Tupac Amaru Shakur dies, right?
Right.
Then she knew she was never going to see him again. Couldn't that sadness be the same, like you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about it like that. But
Yeah.
yeah. So you went into a deeper rabbit hole than I've ever been into with that Tupac
Hey,
shit,
so
bro.
let me find a
Like,
hole that nobody sees.
That's how I am with stuff. That's
Yeah.
why when people ask me about Mexican history, when people ask me about the law, when people ask me about all you know how I am.
Right.
I fucking learn everything. I just delve into it and I fucking I just
learn to learn, learn to burn, right?
Yep,
So,
that's how I am.
Dive in and see how
Yeah.
your feet get wet, right?
that's all that time.
But if
is,
you
bro.
if he like with Keefe D, like if he was a government plant and
Hmm.
Keefe D is a fucking scapegoat, then expect Keefe D to die pretty soon.
Yep.
Yeah, like
100%.
yeah.
Yep.
There's no ifs ands
Or
or
is he
buts
gonna
about it.
die?
And is that why is that why Suge Knight got locked up?
You know, I think Suge Knight, cause he was out, right?
Right.
He hit them niggas supposedly with a car.
Right.
That's why he locked up.
right.
It didn't have nothing to do with none of that shit.
So you think Suge Knight was not involved in any of that shit?
He was involved. He was
Well, I'm
bro.
talking about the conspiracy.
Of Tupac.
Yeah.
He had to be involved.
What about Diddy
Think so.
too?
But if they were gonna lock him up for it, they would have been locked him up for it,
Right.
right?
Well, he was
He was
locked up.
complicit, just like the people who were complicit with I don't want to, I don't want
Right.
to if he's participating, right, with what the government got going on, then he's not gonna get locked up.
Right.
QVD probably wasn't, right? He probably. That's my thinking. What the fuck do I know? I'm just
right.
fucking, you know.
This is loose facts and concrete opinions,
right.
man.
This is just me
This
on
is
a
opinions.
trip.
Hey, this is our
Right.
mind going where it goes.
Yeah.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah. There ain't no facts.
No
loose
truth,
facts.
no facts. It's all true. It's just
I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but
but
I know
But it makes sense though, because I'm
I
like, hey, you really.
Candace Owens did that to my brain. She was talking
Fucking
about
Candace
how all the,
Owens.
because it fucked me up, homie. When she said Easy's gay. She said Easy's gay, Biggie's gay, Puffy's gay, Pac is gay.
Well, Biggie had some questionable lyrics for sure.
Bro, he not only that, he was flirting with Tupac with Puffy.
What about the dude that did a song with Pac? He was a gay singer and shit too, or whatever you want to call them, LGBTQ.
Well,
whatever it is.
that security guard, the big homie, whatever his name is, right? Big homie CC.
Right.
He's saying all sorts of motherfuckers in the music industry they're that way. You know what I mean? He was talking about Busta Rhymes. He said in an interview that Busta Rhymes he would be at a club and club owners would bring like young boys in there just to fucking
Busta Rhymes?
just to keep him happy. Yeah.
What the fuck?
And you see the way he was hugging on that dude Lefty though. I'm just saying.
Oh, come on, man. I'll put that jacket on that dude. Damn.
I'm just saying though.
Yeah.
No, but that's what the big homie CC was saying. You know what I mean?
And that was the security guard?
The security
that
guard
was in Puffy's pad
Yeah.
when all the parties was happening.
Right.
Got it.
Well, he said he never seen that stuff. He wasn't around because he wasn't with that. So supposedly, and I don't know how true it is, big homie CC, he does shit against pedophiles and shit, right?
Oh,
So
okay.
he sets pedophiles up and gets them locked up or whatever, beats their ass and
okay.
shit. He's one of them dudes. So, yeah, I don't know how true it is though, because I've seen a lot of different podcasts and documentaries.
I'm gonna look him up. I'm gonna trip on him.
Big
Yeah.
homie CC, check that shit out because he goes deep on the whole pedophile ring.
Busta Rhymes.
Busta Rhymes too. He said,
Yeah.
I mean, what he was saying was convincing. I'm not saying that it's true because I don't know who fucking, I don't know big
Right.
homie CC from anybody. So
Yeah.
I'm not trying to put that jacket on nobody, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying that's what I said. That's what I heard. That's what he was saying.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's fine. And then
So
what
look
if
it up
he's
yourself.
not? Right? What if Busta not? Because he has that what do you say? I don't even go it. But yeah, Busta Rhymes, man. Damn.
That's a big
Hey,
motherfucker
Buster, if
though.
you gonna do something with Lefty,
Yeah,
you
he's
gotta
been
come do
around
something with
for a
us over here too. Come on.
Who, Busta? I mean, no. Well,
No,
what,
not if he's-
what
not
homie
if
could
he's
you
that
hear
way.
with Busta Rhymes? I mean, we're all busters. Yeah.
What homie could you hear, right?
No, I can't hear nobody with Busta Rhymes.
Me
You
neither.
know what I'm saying? But,
But no, that's just like, and Busta Rhymes, you're a big motherfucker though, man.
yeah.
Shit. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of crazy shit that people, when you get money, you get power,
Mhm.
There's
Don't make
only-
you gay. You
I'm-
gay before you get money.
No. I'm just saying, when you get money, you get power.
Yeah.
You get to indulge in what in certain shit that you wouldn't if
Uh-huh.
you didn't have that money. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So it brings out like if you're gonna be a pervert, it brings out the pervert in you.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be a cokehead, it's gonna bring out the cokehead in you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You get the ability to indulge more in things you would already indulge in.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's the money and the power and shit. Cause
Yeah.
like if you didn't have a 9-to-5 job and you just had fucking all the money in the world, man, your vice was drinking. You will be drunk half the time. You know what I'm saying? Why not?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like there's a lot of people that come out with shit like fucking what's his name? What's this dude say? Orlando Brown. You know what I mean? That dude, you ever seen his interviews?
Yeah, but
Oh,
he's
yeah.
a gym cat though.
Hey, that
Straight
dude.
Bro,
fucking-
don't equate that
Turd and bird.
motherfuckers with
Turd
money.
and
He's
bird,
doing
man.
that shit because he's essentially broke. What does he got? That's So Raven money? Right? So he just catting out on some
I'll
weird shit.
take some of that so Raven money.
Right, but you know what I'm saying? It can't, like, just knowing what you know about shit, it can't be hella money that he got coming in.
Right.
Right? That otherwise he wouldn't be doing these rounds on all this craziness. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like he just a cat.
Right.
No grown man is like acting like
But
that.
again, all this is hearsay. Like everything,
Yeah.
Exactly, exactly,
even the
exactly.
shit Orlando Brown says, whatever Big Homie
It's just
CC said,
credibility. Whoever the
like
fuck they're
there's
fucking
Oh
no
no.
interviewing with.
Listen, bro. Listen, there's too many. There's too many things. I don't know what Orlando Brown knows, right? I
right,
wouldn't even listen to him for nothing, right?
right.
Just as soon as he started, I seen him put a whole microphone in his mouth.
Oh man.
Like I wouldn't even
What
listen
the
to nothing
fuck?
that
I
fool was
never seen
saying,
that.
right? I just all right, yeah, no. But as far as the other shit, like uh there's so many like little things that have happened and people coming out and like it's too I don't wanna act like anybody's guilty of anything, but fucking man, it's weird, bro. It's weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
It's weird, homie.
But so they say Hollywood is the land of weirdos.
It's a land of
You know what I
weirdos.
mean? Like all them motherfuckers in there. But you have that Harvey Weinstein, like you know what I mean? Like that's a big ugly Kentucky Fried Chicken eating motherfucker, right? And he was over there fucking all them fucking actresses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
But
like this in
he
Hollywood. You can
had
put
he had the power to
makeup.
make or break people.
Yeah, that's kind of see, but that what happened with dude was way different, right? Because this this dude is kind of like the casting couch was kind of something he had going on,
The
right?
casting couch.
You know what the casting couch, right? So like you for since I was a little kid, you kind of always heard like about the casting couch,
Right.
right? And that was kind of his thing. You know what I'm saying? And but that's always been like bosses of any company would always try to hump the pretty chick in the office, right? And that's just like an accelerated, exacerbated version of that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So that's weird. And he's for sure like a rapo and a weirdo,
Right.
right? 100%. And fuck that dude.
Right.
But this is kind of like the culture that was established in the 50s when people would fucking slap girls' butts, you know what I'm saying, in the
Right.
workspace, you know what I'm saying, and do that
Cat
type of
calling
shit.
and shit like
Cat
that. You can't
calling.
do that now.
Right. I mean, you can,
I mean,
right?
but it's
Like my boy
it,
BT.
it ain't like it
Cat
used to
calling.
be.
Hey, what's up, baby?
Yeah.
works.
Like that's cat calling.
I
Right.
promise you.
But
Right.
but how it was back in then though, like, hey man, come we do this. You know what I
Man,
mean?
motherfuckers still do that shit. Not me
I ain't seen
personally.
that
I
shit.
don't do that, right? And but to act like it don't happen like in a club, in a bar, you know what I'm saying, in those kind of is just comedy. That's not my stilo, you know what I'm
I was
saying?
like, I got a partner. I swear to God, he's Chico, you ugly ass motherfucker. But you always be like, it's not your beauty, it's your booty. And I'll be like, I'm sorry, man. She's like, no, I like it. I'm like, what the
Oh,
fuck?
that to each their own, man.
To
Like,
each their
they
own.
like that shit.
To each their own.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I got a brother, you know him. I ain't gonna say his name on here. Insane. You know I got a brother that's super like crazy with that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So much so I gotta be like, bro, you kind of creeping me out. Like,
Yo, what up?
What's up, man? Am I alive?
Yeah, you on
you
live,
on
Joe
live,
Bob?
Joe Bob. What's up, Joe Bob?
What's up with it, man?
Hello?
What's good with you?
Shit, man. Just last I heard was what they saying. Somebody said you want to be a star, don't you? The casting couch and shit. I guess it's a little bit lagged, but that's what I heard.
Someone
Yeah.
wants you
Yeah,
wanna be a
no.
star?
Tell us about the casting couch, Joe Bob.
Yeah, well, I don't know nothing about that.
Oh, hell no, bro. What do you think? I didn't think I interviewed my baby mamas.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's
Oh
right.
man, you a motherfucking fool, man.
Oh, you already know, man. I'm out here on the road right now still, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's up, man? What you doing when you come back?
Shit, I'll be back out there damn near. We got some things lined up for tomorrow and stuff, man. I'll be back in motion in about a day or two.
Oh,
All right,
wow.
man. Shit.
Yeah, I just wanted to tap in because we on live and shit, man. Shout out to everybody tuning in. Fuck the dude that wears a stupid ass Nacho Libre mask when he talking shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, fuck that dude.
Sorry, pick that off. Just had to say it on live.
It's all good.
Yeah, it's all good. Shit, man. I said my team fellas, man. You guys got rocking and rolling. I'm about to bounce out the whip right now, so I just want to
Yeah.
go and send my love to everybody, man. Everybody tuning in, man.
Hell
Yes,
yeah, man.
sir.
Man, the Network Podcast, man.
Hell yeah,
Yes,
Joe
sir.
Bob.
Health,
Appreciate you,
fuck,
Doug.
love.
Uh,
They better report where they walk, you know.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
All right, my brother, man, you be smooth.
Love you, brother. Sir.
All right, bro. Like,
Yes, sir.
Oh, Bob.
Yeah,
Joe
Joe
Bob
Bob from the mob.
mob.
For the
This
mind.
motherfucker, he a fool.
Yeah, he's a fool, man.
Yeah, man.
But yeah,
But
that dude, Harvey Weinstein, he's a weirdo. You know what I'm saying? But that's kind of been the culture. That's not just Hollywood with that type shit. You know what I'm saying? That's every major corporation has an element of that. I feel like maybe it's dulled probably now. You know what I'm saying? But
has it dulled now, or has it just been hidden better?
right, that's exactly like the drugs,
Right.
right? So it's like the creeps are gonna be creeps. They just gonna figure out a way to finesse it, right? Just like the dope, motherfuckers gonna find a way to get you high. They just gonna finesse it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's all it is.
Yeah. And it is what it is, right?
Right. Yep.
Yeah. But I mean, anyways, like the world is full of fucked up shit, right? And you can see a whole lot of shit that's going on right now. Like we're living in history, right?
Yeah.
Because right now, everything that's happening around the world, this is gonna be played back like 100 years from now. Motherfuckers gonna be like, man, these motherfuckers was on one. They're talking about fires and shit, talking about drones everywhere, thinking
Right.
they're aliens,
The
fucking
lasers.
China,
The
lasers.
what they said, it's like some type of like satellite that's out there that controls
Right.
where it's getting dropped. Like, you seen the videos too?
Yeah, I seen
Yeah,
videos.
shit's crazy.
But you can't believe everything
You
the internet no
Hey,
more,
if I
dude.
see it with my own eyes, I'll believe it.
AI
You know
is
what I'm saying?
they started, and the fucked up thing is who's in charge right now still? It's Biden. So don't think that it's just one side or the other, man.
I just realized that today
Everywhere.
when I was like, "Oh, Trump." She's like, "He ain't here yet."
Right. You know what I mean? But they're making it seem like that. You know what I mean? He said, make sure you have your ID, or it's gonna be like Born in East LA movie with Cheech and Chong, where you all get deported as a citizen, but don't have
BT
his
loves
ID.
fat women.
You see, that's a like we laughing about it and shit, but man, it's
loves you.
kind of like, man, if you know like the history of America with that kind of bullshit, it kind of in Arizona recently, bro. So when they start doing that kind of shit, and I ain't gonna harp on this for too long, but it's real. when they said, okay, businesses can't hire undocumented immigrants,
Right.
right? What they started doing was people would report businesses if motherfuckers look too Mexican,
Right.
right? They would report these businesses and they would raid the businesses, snatch everybody up. So simultaneously, police could pull you over for looking too Mexican, right? Literally, they were stopping motherfuckers if you went out to and this is under Sheriff Arpaio. This is a real thing that happened. We talked about this before,
Right.
right? So if you went to check your mail, you walked up the block to the liquor store, you didn't have your ID on you. You know what I'm saying? They could snatch you up and keep you in there for 3 days, up to 3 days, in order for you to verify
Who you
your
are.
citizenship,
Citizenship, yo.
Yeah.
right? So like it's important for us to be conscious of the shit that the federal government could do, because even though California's not with it, they could have federal laws be implemented. You know what I'm saying? And it could affect us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And ICE is a federal arm. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean it's and what's been happening supposedly is that they've been getting motherfuckers with felonies that are undocumented and dealing with them, like deporting them or putting them through the process of deportation, right? So, man, if that
Well, it happened in L.A., right? They were rounding motherfuckers
brother,
up. They
in
looked
L.A.,
in
in
Arizona.
Bakersfield,
Yeah.
and they've been
Yeah.
going all the way up through.
And now
here.
it's more real right now.
Yeah,
Like,
so-
I know people that got touched by this shit right now. You know what I'm saying? It's fucked up.
Yeah, so it's just
Fucked up.
important to be conscious of it. You know what I'm saying? It's important to be conscious of it. That's all I'm saying. Is there's some policies Trump is doing that's cool, and Trump ain't even in office, homie. You know what I'm saying? But this is existing law that they're allowed to do, and ICE feels, because of what Trump said, ICE feels like, okay, we could do this now. Nobody's gonna tell us shit because Trump's about to be in office.
So like you know how like he got charged all this shit and now it's getting old or whatever.
Yeah.
So I looked into this shit, right? Because my mind runs crazy like yours, right?
Yeah.
So I think about, okay, he goes to jail. Every existing president, if you're alive,
Yeah.
has to mandatory have 5 secret agents
Yeah.
in the cell without. So that means if he was to get,
Wait, say that again. Hold on. Say that again.
so they're supposed to be in his cell with him. That means that either they're protecting him, so they could go above. Let's just say he gets put into a federal pen, right?
Uh-huh.
He still has his people. That means no matter where they go, he goes.
Who you talking about?
Trump.
Okay.
If I was saying, if
Yeah.
if he was to go in, let's just say that it
jail?
did happen to jail, right?
He ain't going to jail.
But if he
Right.
did, it wouldn't
Yeah.
matter either way because he still has his own secret service and the Fed.
Because he was a president. Okay, I see
exactly.
what you're saying.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm
Right.
saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if you think about that, come on, like he's still gonna do whatever the fuck he needs to do.
He gonna do it, yeah.
Yeah, you gonna do it.
Yeah, but that's not what I was saying was it don't matter. Like it don't matter if he president or not, because Biden obviously is still president, but this shit is happening in California.
Yeah.
And this is our really like our stronghold,
Right.
right? This is like the raza capital of America. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? This in Texas.
Most
probably.
populous
Chicago. Chicago has got a huge
Right.
yeah.
Latin population.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well, if you look at where the population is, like you look at the United States, right? You look where like actual people live
mhm.
per capita. The West Coast don't have the majority, or let's just say even to the middle of where the population is. It's actually bigger on the East Coast.
Oh yeah, but we're there. Those are
people-
Puerto Ricans and shit. So
no, I'm
Puerto,
just saying people. Period.
oh,
Like
people?
and humans,
Oh,
like
I thought you meant
living- yeah.
Latinos.
but
Okay.
but more so even Latinos, right?
Yeah.
We've got the bigger presence here,
Mhm.
but where we have more people like existing and habitating is
Yeah.
actually East
It's the East Coast. Yeah, but over here, this is like
Yeah, but we have
because we're right
Yeah, we
next to
talking
the
about
border.
brown motherfuckers.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
we're
Raza.
this is the raza capital,
Yeah.
you know, of the world right here, besides Mexico.
Right.
Well,
Yeah, you can't get
Central
any-
and Southern.
Right.
Yeah, if you go
America.
to like I've been to New York, New Jersey, Miami, all that, you don't see too much Mexicans. You see Central Americans,
Yeah.
Puerto Ricans,
Cubanos.
Dominicans, Cubanos. Mexicans, and you don't see Mexican restaurants. Like people told me, like, "Hey, you should open one over here, bro," because they ain't got none of that,
Yeah.
none of that over there.
You eating plantains over there.
Yeah,
Oh,
You eating fried plantains
Platanitos
over
and
there.
shit, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll fuck with the
Mofongos
plantain,
and
though.
shit.
Yeah. I heard those are good. I never had one.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna make you some, G.
Oh yeah. What are you?
I'm a fucking mutt, man. I'm El Salvadorian.
Yeah.
I'm Mexican. I'm actually Irish El Salvadorian. My great grandfather
Yeah.
traveled over there, and I guess his thing was to open a bakery from being a postal service man. And then my grandma's side, they the original 14 landowners of El Salvador, the Dueñas family.
Wow,
You
that's
know what I'm saying?
crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
We left because of the Civil War, if you know the guerrilla shit
Yeah.
that was
Mhm.
going on.
I do.
And so they gave up their money to come over here, and I'm blessed to be here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Shit,
First
luck of the
generation
draw right
American.
there. First generation.
First generation, yeah.
That's dope.
I'm
Me and my
like
brothers are pioneers of this motherfucker.
I'm like
Yeah.
first generation on my dad's side, and my mom's side I'm like third.
Somehow my mom and my dad met each other in Reno.
Both from Mexico.
And one's from El Salvador, one's from Mexico, and
Yeah.
boom, here I am.
Yeah.
On my dad's side, my dad's mom is from Mazatlan. His whole family's from Mazatlan. But my mom is Peruvian, Spanish, and fucking Irish.
Yeah, so
You know
we
what I'm saying?
Spanish too, because like a conquistadors did it over here, over there too. You know, we got Spanish, we got Portuguese and shit.
All Mexicans are Spanish.
Mexicans, not
Yeah.
Mexicans, right?
But
Yeah.
my
Yeah,
mom's
we
dad
got-
was actually Spanish, like from Spain.
Spaniard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like he's not like Spanish, like was conquered raza. You know what I'm saying? Like
Well, it's like El Salvador, right? It's called El Salvador because it's the conquistador, right? That came and
Yeah.
took over.
Right.
Before that, what was it called? I still don't even know. It's probably
Well, that's why the names of all the cities in California are in Spanish, because Spain came and took over the motherfuckers.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
It's crazy because I got 4 brothers and like one of us is light, one of us dark, one of us light, one of us dark. But we got the same dad. I'm
Yeah,
my mom's
no,
side,
that's-
right?
that's my family. Like I'll show you my dad. That motherfucker look Hindu. You know what I'm
He's
saying?
dark
He's
as
so, but you know, both my sisters dark than a motherfucker, real moreno.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What's
I just
crazy?
came out like
my
this.
my dad was light skinned, but my grandma was dark as shit.
Yeah,
His,
Same
his
here.
mom, she was dark. She's straight Indio. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But my dad was light, and my grandpa, he was light skinned. So a lot of my cousins in Mexico are blonde hair and blue eyed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah, we got the green eyes, we got the
yeah,
blonde eyes in our family, and then like it's crazy because me and my brothers, for instance, we all look like different people from different parts of our family. One
Oh
of
yeah.
my brothers look more like my great grandmother from one side, my brother looks like my grandma from the other side. Yeah,
okay.
it's just a trip. Genetics is a trip.
Right. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, if you're, if you have any kind of Mexican blood in you, you're mixed with everything. So the chances of your kids coming out dark or light are, it's 50-50,
Right.
Yeah.
right?
And my
Because
brothers are like that. Their kids, some are hella dark and
Yeah.
some
right,
are hella white.
right. I mean, I have cousins that one's light skinned motherfucker, one's dark as shit, and it's like, bro, did you have an affair? Talking to my aunt, like, you have an affair? Like, what
But
the
then it
fuck?
comes to the
Like,
history,
from
Yeah,
the
that's
same
like
history
blood.
too, right? Because
my
if they have green eyes, blue eyes, and they're Mexican, it's because when World War II happened and all the Nazis came over there, bro, and were taking over the territories out there. If you know about
Oh,
that,
Argentina,
yeah,
yeah.
in Mexico también, you know what I'm saying? And
Okay.
so all my cousins are like, well, when we did our background, it came to that, some fucked
yeah.
up
Oh, that's
shit.
dope.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. And
Yeah.
there was hella French in Mexico too. Remember
Right.
that? Yeah. So, my dad used to always tell my mom I'm the milkman's son.
Hey, my mom always tell people that because she always like, there's a hood mama. And like, why you got all these kids? They're not your. She's like, oh, the milkman came by. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
'Cause that was a big thing back in the day, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Like a milkman.
yeah, 'cause the housewives were there
It wasn't
alone,
the
and
pool man or the law man. It was the
the
milkman.
milkman. Motherfuckers had milk delivered to them and shit. Like, that's
Yeah.
crazy shit.
The
What
fuck?
y'all know about the chancla though?
Yeah,
What you
everybody
know
knows
about the
about the
chancla?
I
chancla.
know if I turned a corner and it was coming from any lady that was Hispanic, it was gonna bend the corner and hit my ass too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Boomerang chanclas and
Yeah,
shit.
boomerang chancla, man. You have kids, you're Hispanic, you get the power of the chancla. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's like embedded in the culture, dude. That's part of the
Right.
cultura is the chancla.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's just something like if you especially if you're born in if you were raised in California by a Mexican mom, you know what I mean, or any Latino mom,
Latino
like
mom,
that
yeah.
chancla is the one, right? Because
Yeah.
what they always have on their feet. What was the closest weapon? Because it don't
Any
matter what it
weapon
was, they
in my
gonna throw it
mom's
at you.
hand was a weapon. Anything, frying pan, whatever. Hey,
Yeah.
it's done happened. Y'all
Oh,
done
yeah.
seen it. If
It
y'all
done
watching
happened.
it, y'all know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you learned respect.
Yep.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You learned, especially from
Bro.
your mom.
And you know what? I don't got no kids, right? My girl's kid is I take care of her, you know what I'm saying? My ex's kid, I still be in her life.
Right.
But I feel like motherfuckers really lost something when you can't spank your motherfucking
Oh
kids
yeah,
no more.
if you ain't getting the ass whipped, just like the little homies, no respect to y'all because I love y'all, but y'all didn't get your ass whipped like you did. Y'all didn't have but hey, I love y'all. That's just gonna be
Well, because
that.
there's a fine line, right? Because there's people that abuse their kids that go too far, right?
Yeah.
And when you take your anger out on somebody, and it's anger, especially a kid,
Yeah.
like that's going too far.
Yeah.
When you hit, you're supposed to hit for discipline. Like, look, you did something wrong. This is consequences to your action. You're
Yeah.
not supposed to discipline someone out of anger, because you discipline someone out of anger, you see that you got kids
Yeah.
baby shaking syndrome. You
Right.
get
But
fucking
there's a line with everything. I just
But
think
where did all that shit exist when we were alive? Like half
When
these
you was
things.
getting whooped?
Yeah.
Right.
What was that at?
yeah, man, bro. I don't
yeah,
know.
but we were getting whooped though. It actually instills something in us, right?
Yeah.
Like it,
Maybe the man I am today.
right. And yeah, so people don't get that now, but I get why there's certain laws against that, but then again, I think at certain times they overstep that shit too.
Yes, and
You know what I
that's
mean?
true.
CPS is
Yeah.
one of the most fucking corrupt organizations or government organizations there is.
I know the whole,
Government
even the
entities.
courses going back to like the child support shit. Like even with that, my lawyer said it's like this: we prey on families like you. This is how they win. If we give you custody back, there's no money going back to the state.
Right.
Type shit, So they prey
Oh,
on
wow,
broken
that's crazy.
families.
So my ex used to work for like where they put the kids when they get snatched up, right? From CPS.
Like a Mary Graham Hall and shit. Like
I-
up in Stockton, this Mary Graham Hall.
Shouts out to the single mamas though. We
So
ain't
I
hating on you.
don't know what it was called, homie. I ain't gonna
Yeah.
lie, but she quit. She quit because it was terrible in there.
Oh, I believe it.
And she was like, she went to college for it, and she was still like to help kids, in like troubled kids and shit. And she was like, man, it was fucking like there's no way that their home life could be any worse than that
Right.
shit.
It's one thing to try to help kids, but
Yeah.
then when the help turns out to be worse than where it came from,
You're
like there's a
enabling them. You're
problem.
not enabling them. You're
Yeah.
enabling them. You know what I'm saying? At that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a problem, dude, when there's no oversight
Right.
and everything has to do with
Yeah.
money, right? It's funding, and they don't care about the kids because the more kids they got in those places, the more money they
More
get.
money they did.
And that's
yeah.
with any
Just like
everything.
the institutions. same
That's
shit.
with
Mhm.
COVID. The more fucking people that had COVID, the more funding the hospitals
Yeah.
got. So they were like,
Everybody got
they-
COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, you drowned in a pool? You
Right.
got COVID.
Who did
Right.
get that STEM money too?
So the more people in prison, the more money the prisons get. So let's
Right.
keep it like the more crime that's happening, like the more funding the cops get, the more overtime, the more raises. So everything has to do with money, man.
So like honestly, people ask me like, yeah, what you gonna do when you come up on a bundle of money you could get? Because like thank God I got myself out the system. No paperwork no more. I'm when police pull me over, I ain't got no
Yeah.
probation, no parole. So now I feel like I finally could take this next step, right? So what I want to do with this next step, what I want to do is reformation where I could change the way of this whole. But it's not just gonna be me. It's gonna take a lot of people just like me. But if I take a step forward, I feel there's gonna be another person behind me to take a step behind me with it, and
Right.
it's just exposing this and letting people know the reality and shit. you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody said those homes don't help at all. And a lot of that funding gets pocketed. Watch a show called The Wire. So yeah, I heard a lot about The Wire.
I have
never
people that
watched it.
actually work in
I'm
these
gonna have to
homes,
check that out, Mike.
good
Good looking on that.
Yeah.
and they
And no,
tell me the
Mike, I
same
ain't never
shit.
reached out to Jesse, but I might.
They say that these homes, it's like they do very minimal. They get this money, and like it's just like jail, right? They have this money for how much you eat and all this, and they're supposed to have this much funding. They could feed us better, but they don't. What they do is they find
Yeah.
the cheapest alternative
Yeah.
Right.
to do the less minimal to still pass it by.
Bro, speaking of cheapest, in prison, I was a vegetarian for 15 years. I ate no meat. And it's because I seen this motherfucking documentary
humans
on
cannot
PBS.
eat.
This documentary on PBS about pink slime. I just seen this thing on ground beef.
When I was working,
Hold up, Doug. So, 70% of ground beef that everybody's buying right now got that pink slime in it.
because of a commercial farm,
Damn. So you're not eating beef again?
he will just
No,
grass fed and from a
I've never
farm.
been really like a big
A big beef eater?
beef dude.
But yeah, but that's what everything has to do with money, right? And
Yeah.
stretching shit out, and you know what I mean. Motherfuckers is greedy. Wherever somebody's gonna skim off the top, they're going
They
to.
gonna get it. Yeah.
That's in government. That's in law enforcement. That's with That's
Hey,
everybody.
look, I ain't gonna lie. I'm not even mad at that. The only time I feel like there should be some kind of fucking checks and balances is when it comes to kids.
Right.
Like,
So,
damn, like
my
kids
bad.
don't even get no motherfucking pass,
But talk about the pink slime shit, right?
Mhm.
So I worked on the workers floor, right? I'm opening the boxes,
Yeah.
rating it. Fuck if y'all niggas don't like this, but it said not for human consumption.
Assumption.
Right.
And then I'm a chef, so I look at the ingredients, and it's true. There's fillers for even shrimp nowadays, lobster, all that shit. Where they fill it with the thing, bro. And it's like you're not really eating what you're eating unless it's coming from a self-sustained farm, shit like that. You ain't eating real shit no more.
Yeah.
Even vegetables.
Bro, I love sushi. Stop eating sushi.
What? I love sushi.
Stop eating sushi, bro. Stop eating shrimp.
Man, I love.
Is it
shrimp.
because they told you there were cockroaches?
Nah, it's because I seen this thing on man, I'm not saying everybody should stop eating sushi. I'm saying I chose to stop eating it because of the parasites that are in raw fish.
Oh.
True. So that's what makes sushi. If you're really a sushi enthusiast, or like how I know my meats and shit, you're gonna go to a verified source of someone that's sourcing these type of meats or like seafood. So you got people that are buying it to make money. You have people that care about the quality. People that actually give a fuck about the food. They know where it's coming from, how it's processed, where it came to put it on your plate.
Yeah.
And that's what's gonna separate everything. So that's like if you want to go try some shit like that, I got you. I'll change your mind.
Yeah, no,
For real.
I
For
fuck
real,
with
bro.
it. Man, I love sushi a lot, bro.
So do I. I fuck with sushi.
Yeah.
That's my shit. As a matter of fact,
we
I'm
about to
hungry
do
right now.
a sushi event for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna take you up on that. We'll go get some sushi.
Hey,
Look.
Silver Sake, I'm gonna take him over there. Cameron, tell him what it is, man.
Silver sake.
Yeah, it's right here. You know.
Yeah,
My
man.
favorite spot used to be in the East Side called Sky Sushi.
Yeah, dude. Sky sushi.
Yeah, it's
But remember, closer to the ocean, the better the shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're saying a lot of hot dogs had human DNA in it. A lot of the beef samples had
Bro, I ain't
human
mad at
DNA.
I ain't mad at no human meat. That's not what I'm.
Yo, eat some human
Oh, see,
meat.
brother
I eat
Lynch,
human
yo,
meat.
he better
Oh,
get
man, I'm good.
And listen, I've never eaten no human meat, but I'm not anti-human meat. I'm gonna tell you why. Because human meat probably tastes hella good.
And if we all have to die and we have to live, hey, I'm gonna eat your motherfucking leg, bro. I'm gonna
Yeah,
arrest
somebody
you for it,
dying
too.
before me. I promise you, somebody dying before me. Because I'm not anti-human meat.
Yeah, I'm kind of anti-human meat, man. I seen The Hills Have Eyes. That's what the motherfuckers turn
Like,
into,
eat
man.
shit, eat
Hills Have
things
Eyes.
sweet.
They be motherfuckers.
Nah, I think they demonize it, but it's just meat.
Yeah.
It's just meat. Like we're just like any other animal.
So my
I really
homie,
think that, yeah.
my dude I live with, right? He's a Hastings, so I guess he was the last uncle that lived at the donor party. You know, a donor party and shit.
Yeah, yeah, I remember
So
the Donner
the one that lived was his uncle. I'm over there at night, like this thing gonna eat me.
Was he a weirdo?
Fuck yeah,
Oh, okay.
straight the
You might be
fuck
right.
yeah.
You might
Bro,
be right
that
there.
shit. There's
Yeah.
scientific studies of that shit.
Nah,
fucks with
I
human,
don't believe it.
that
I don't
fucks
care if
with
there's scientific studies because
Hey.
the idea that hold on, the idea that if you eat a human, like we know we can eat monkey. They've been eating monkey brain, right?
Well,
for
for
health.
Azteca, right, or Mayan or Incan, we ain't humans and shit.
Motherfuckers can eat humans, bro. It's just meat.
Parts.
I don't know. I'm not trying to.
Well, I'm not trying
I'd rather
to
eat
either.
a cow.
Right. I'd rather eat
I like
cow
cow
too.
tongue.
If it don't got no pink slime in it, I'd rather eat cow.
You ever ate
But-
lingua?
Hold on. But I'm not looking for human meat.
Right, I get it.
Obviously.
But you're not opposed to it.
It's not gonna freak me out if I get a fucking taco with fucking. I used to freak out about lingua.
Oh yeah.
Right. What's
That
wrong
was
with that?
not bad.
Right.
I
It's
love
true,
lingua.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's not my favorite, but
Yeah.
it's
So,
not bad.
but it's fine. Right.
Yeah, I feel it's like the cook, right? Different people have the way they cook it, and the texture thing will fuck you up with the lingua. You feel me? And shit like
for
that.
sure.
For
Yeah.
6 months, first tier member said Brother Lynch influenced this conversation.
Maybe it got me thinking about it when I was a little kid, but I'm not saying everybody, but I'm just saying the idea that somehow eating human meat will make motherfuckers crazy, or is the best meat or the fattiest,
I
right?
was already born
Right.
crazy.
Human meat is
It's a
fat.
fat. Yeah. Yeah, that's what they say. You know what I mean?
We shouldn't eat human meat, right?
Yeah.
No, but
Yeah,
Nobody's
if-
advocating
If
for
it comes
eating
out in the
advocating for
world,
it.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
eat your fat ass.
I'm not advocating for that. I'm just saying, if
Right.
we're trapped on an island and we ain't got no food, bro, somebody's getting it.
I was slicing her
Somebody's
titty off, nigga.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I mean, shit, I'd rather eat a pig. Fuck it.
I'd rather eat a pig too. But the
Hey.
parasites in that too.
Yeah, there's
Yes.
parasites and
Have you
There
seen
is.
parasites in
But
that
because
too?
pigs eat anything.
I've seen this
The only
thing.
thing that don't come out. You ever had a pig before to eat shit? Hey, look, if he eats
What?
humans,
Say that again?
Huh?
What'd you say?
no, I say ever ate a pig, like ate a
Yeah.
pig before,
yeah,
right?
or a
So-
whole pig.
But the
Oh,
whole
like,
thing
no,
is,
I never
you
ate
ever
one
seen a
like that.
pig, what it eats, anything.
Oh, yeah.
So you can
trash.
feed them a human, it's gonna shit out the bones. You know what I'm saying? They eat
But I
anything.
seen this thing on TikTok, right? I know it's this stupid TikTok where the chick poured the Coca-Cola on the slab of fucking ham.
Right.
That's true. When
Raw.
it comes out with
It
fish
really
too.
be coming out.
That's a real thing.
Yeah.
No, it's a real thing.
Yeah,
That's
that's
the truth. I actually test that when I buy for when I cook things.
Yeah.
I'll buy an order and I'll pour it on the pork. I'll pour it on the fucking fish.
Yeah.
And you can see them. Hey, it's real.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
I see
I'm not
it.
fucking with no parasites and shit.
But it comes.
Cook it though, huh?
Yeah, cook it.
Cook the shit out of it.
Hey,
But
supposedly
the,
we're
the reason I'll
parasites.
still eat ham and not sushi is because you can't cook the sushi.
Right. That's
You know what I'm saying?
right.
You ever seen the brain and how it's cooked, connected? We're supposedly the parasite in the middle. Supposedly, if you looked at it.
Oh,
Yeah, look it up.
that's
Google
what
that
we
shit.
are, parasites.
Supposedly in a human
Humans
body.
are a fucking parasite,
A living
bro.
parasite
Yeah.
right now. We're a living parasite.
Humans are
connected to
fucking
this.
parasites, homie.
Yeah, look it up. I swear, bro.
I know a couple motherfuckers is
Hey,
parasites.
Yeah, I got some homeboys that
I go down a different rabbit hole.
they're real bad with that shit. But I just generally on Earth humans are cancer.
Oh
I
yeah,
hate cancers. I'm a
definitely.
Taurus.
Oh,
They
you're a
fucked my
Taurus too?
life. Yeah.
Hell yeah, right
You know what
on.
I'm saying?
May
They
14th.
fucking
16th.
Oh shit.
Hello.
Oh shit. But yeah, fucking.
Do you know about the 15th? I posted last night. I guess it's like an AR artist, like Pimp Johnson. His birthday was 15. I'm like, oh, we resonate. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause the shit he said, look it up on my page. This shit was crazy.
I'm gonna have to check that out, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, shit, I'm getting ready to go, man. I'm
Yeah,
I'm
it's
hungry
getting
as a
kinda late.
motherfucker. It's late, but
Thank y'all for
you
having me
know,
over here.
hey, yeah, appreciate you, man. Remy Guapo, man. Don't forget to check out,
Yep.
man, that new song by Lil Angel, man. That
Yes.
shit go.
Thank you, brother.
Hello.
Hey,
Look out for a lot more from Lil Angel. He
Hey.
got 3 songs done already. We working.
Lost Boys by Lil Angel, man. Look it
February
up.
8th.
That shit's dope. Man, you spit some real game for Lil Angel, man. I mean, you were spitting some real shit. If motherfuckers haven't heard it, you got to check it out. It's real game. It's real game for the youngsters, man. And you did your
Especially
thing on
for
there.
Lil Angel.
Yeah, especially for him, man. That was,
Especially thank
I
God for
felt that
BFG,
shit.
man.
Thank you, brother.
I felt that shit. So check that out, man. We got a lot more coming soon. You know, a lot of projects coming.
Yeah.
Watch out for BT. He coming
Yeah,
soon.
All-Star
Hell,
getting deep.
Hey, we got
All-Star.
BT in the fucking building, but he
Yeah.
won't never show his face till you see it.
Joe Bob coming out with some shit too.
All-Star getting deep.
Yeah,
For real.
getting deep, and we about to drop
Hey, it's
hella
All Star
shit.
Remy. What y'all think?
Yeah.
All-Star
Hello.
Remy,
Hello.
straight up, yeah.
Anyways, man,
I'm here for the team.
we
man.
appreciate
Love
y'all, man.
What you got coming? Hold on.
Oh yeah, go for
What I
it.
got coming? We got February 8th, BT's fucking birthday.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, bro, you're going to see some shit you never heard of. Hey, Insane might even do some shit you never heard of. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You never know.
Oh, do I gotta
Hey,
perform?
BFD too. Don't let these motherfuckers fool y'all. Thank you. Love y'all, man. Appreciate the
Oh
fun.
yeah, check it out, man. No Paperwork Podcast, man. You know, dopest podcast cooking. You know what I'm saying? BFD, Remy Guapo, and the Insane, man. And we out of here,
Hello.
man. Shout out to all y'all. Enjoy your weekend, man. Martin Luther King
What did
holiday
you say?
on Monday. So we got a couple more drops coming this weekend.
Yeah.
We got Demo, he'll be here, the videographer, and then we got another one with Cinco and his artists. Yeah, so
Right.
And we're
yeah,
gonna bring
check
some
those
other
out.
peoples. We're gonna
Oh, we
hopefully
gotta-
Benny. We're gonna bring my boy King Seidel. Hopefully, hey, y'all need to
Yeah.
tap in. We were reaching out.
All right,
Yeah.
man. Y'all be cool. Peace.